Live from WRAL News Headquarters in Raleigh, your number one source for local news. WRAL News, coverage you can count on.
Right now on WRAL News on Fox 50, we continue to follow some breaking news there near the I-40, I-85 split there in Orange County. Yet another crash just happened, shutting down a couple of lanes on I-85. I'll update that crash and let you know how to get around it.
The search continues for a 9-year-old boy who was last seen in Durham. Coming up, I'll tell you who authorities say he was last seen with.
And railways across France have been disrupted as thousands head to Paris for the opening ceremony. What the Prime Minister is saying about the malicious attacks.
And this morning, we're going to get you a live look at Paris. You see right here, that is where the opening ceremony for the 2024 Olympic Games will start in just a few hours. That's why we're showing you why one local theater is bringing the Olympics to the Triangle remotely, because trying to go to Paris is expensive. I mean, there's a way, if I can see it locally, I'm going to do it.
Yes.
Thanks for joining us here on WRAL News and Fox 50. I'm Chris Lovingan.
And I'm Michelle McConaughey. Happy Friday. We have a lot of news to get to. Weather-wise, no rain right now for us. Meteorologist Kat Campbell in the WRAL Severe Weather Center. A nice weekend ahead, too.
Oh, yeah. We've got great weather to look forward to this weekend. For now, if you're headed out the door, rain is not going to slow down your morning commute. It is great to start the day, 76 degrees. Very muggy outside. Just a heads up, we do have a little bit of patchy fog, nothing widespread or terribly impactful, but reduced visibility around Moore County especially. A few sprinkles to talk about, some in Moore County there, and then we also have some showers in southern Sampson County, but the coverage about 10% of our area, so nothing significant. And as this front continues to push to the south, it's going to take the heavier rain with it. So the flood watch has been trimmed back until 7 o'clock today for just our southern counties, no longer including the Triangle. We'll watch for the greatest coverage of afternoon and evening storms to set up in those southern counties that are under a flood watch, but we could see some outlier showers and storms develop during the afternoon and evening. So you may still see some rain today, even if you're not under that flood watch, but we'll be watching the rain for you very closely. And then a big drying pattern on the way for the weekend. Make some outdoor plans, get ready for more sunshine and a little dip in humidity. More on that coming up.
Excellent, Kat. We continue to follow some breaking news there in Orange County here in the WRAL Traffic Center. Take a look at what we're talking about. This crash just happened right now, closing 2 lanes of I-85 northbound near the I-85 split. Initially, it was causing a little bit of a slowdown, but right now we're seeing the sensors have cleared up quite a bit. The other issue that we're seeing there, the I-40-85 split, that's a deadly crash that happened about an hour ago. It's clear right now, but you can still see the lingering delays. We're told from the State Highway Patrol that 2 of the 3 lanes there on I-40, I-85 continue to be closed this morning, and that delay is stretching all the way to Hillsborough Road or Chapel Hill Road there in Orange County. We'll keep an eye on it and let you know how to get around it. Really and truly, the I-70, I should say, Highway 70, is really your best bet in terms of getting around it. Also around the Triangle this morning, you can see the Beltline, just a little bit of a slowdown on the north side and the south side of the Beltline, maybe just adding a couple of minutes to your commute time this morning.
Oh, thank you, Ken. This morning, police in Durham need your help finding this 9-year-old boy. Authorities issued an Amber Alert for Gian King Perry just before 11 o'clock last night. You may have heard that alert on your phone. As WRAL's Nick Perlin shares, authorities say the boy was last seen there about 12 hours ago.
At around 11 last night, you probably received a notification alerting you that Durham police were looking for a 9-year-old boy. He was last seen in Durham, and the search is still continuing this morning. Now take a look at your screen. This is the child we're talking about. This is 9-year-old Gian King Perriette. He was last seen on South Benjamin Street in Durham. He's 4'10" and weighs about 100 pounds and was last seen with his biological mother. Her name is Mariah King. Now, Durham police is urging anyone with information to help them out in this search. We're going to keep you up to date on what Durham police are learning as the morning progresses. In Durham, Nick Perlin, WRAL News.
And new this morning, a person is dead after being hit by a car in Fayetteville. The crash happened at Cliffdale Road and Bunce Road at about 9:50 last night. Police say the person who was hit was crossing the road outside of a crosswalk. We are working to learn the name of the person who was hit and whether any charges will be filed.
This week's unsettled weather pattern has left several communities saturated with water. This was what the WRAL storm tracker saw yesterday in Wake Forest. That's where some roads were closed because of flooding. Workers at the U-Haul on Capitol Boulevard in Raleigh worked to get trailers to higher ground. They say the low-lying area where the rental facility is located is prone to flooding. On Trailroad Drive near Aviation Ferry Road, utility crews spent the evening fixing a power line after a tree fell on it. So you can see that right here. And teams in Wake Forest worked to clear a tree that fell on Durham Road in Wake Forest during the evening commute.
New this morning, the French Prime Minister says that 3 railways to Paris were targeted in the malicious attacks on the high-speed train lines overnight. Several facilities have been damaged and travel has been disrupted, affecting 800,000 people. Officials say that the massive attack was aimed at paralyzing the high-speed line network. The train lines will be disrupted through the weekend. And the opening ceremony of the 2024 Summer Olympics in Paris is only a few hours away. You have the chance to watch it on Raleigh's biggest screen. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey is at the Marbles IMAX Theater this morning. Kelsey, tickets still available. What an awesome way to watch the opening ceremony.
Michelle, this really is a great way to enjoy the opening ceremony with your family on the largest screen in Raleigh. So check this out. This screen is 54 feet tall and 70 feet wide. So this is the size of 800 Mona Lisas. Now, the TV that you're watching at home is only the size of 2 Mona Lisas. So this is 400 times the size of your screen at home. And we spoke with the head of the IMAX Theater about his excitement leading up to the ceremony.
We can get our red, white, and blue on, root for America, or wherever your home country is, cheer on the athletes, cheer for the victors, the first place winners, the second place silver medalists, bronze medalists, but also everyone who's competing.
And what's going to the movie theater without snacks? So you can always grab food from the concession stand. They have tons of snacks, ices that are really, really good. And tickets are still available. Doors will open at 12 noon and the opening ceremony starts at 1:30. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
And in addition to the IMAX at Marbles Museum, you can also watch the Olympic opening ceremony in IMAX at the AMC theaters at Durham Streets at South Point and on Lake Valley Drive in Fayetteville. WRAL is your home for the Summer Olympics. Our live coverage continues through August 11th. Look for live reports from Paris throughout the competition at 6 a.m., 6 p.m., and 11 p.m. And we have a viewing guide on WRAL.com so you can follow your favorite sports and athletes.
New this morning, former President Barack Obama and First Lady Michelle Obama have officially endorsed Vice President Kamala Harris as the Democratic nominee. The former president did not immediately endorse Harris after President Biden announced he was dropping from the race. In a video and a statement shared on the X social media platform this morning, Obama and the First Lady said they spoke with Harris and are giving her their full support.
We called to say Michelle and I couldn't be prouder to endorse you and to do everything we can to get you through this election and into the Oval Office.
Oh my goodness.
Now, the Obamas sent their support and expressed gratitude for their decades-long friendship, and Kamala Harris did the same. Voting to officially nominate Harris is likely to begin on August 1st.
Sunday marks 100 days until the presidential election, and Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Trump are hitting each other on the campaign trail. Former President Trump will hold a rally in Minnesota tomorrow night. Minnesota is a Democrat-leaning state, but the Trump campaign is hoping to make inroads there. Vice President Harris has a rally planned in Atlanta on Tuesday. President Biden barely won Georgia over Trump in the 2020 election.
And Michelle, Vice President Harris says she is ready to debate former President Donald Trump, but Trump says he will not commit to that. There was a debate set for September 10th. The former president says he would like to see Harris formally secure her nomination from the Democratic Party. He agrees to it before he agrees to a debate. Now, Harris accused Trump of backpedaling on the deal their campaigns made.
Governor Roy Cooper didn't have much to say about speculation that he is one of her top choices for vice president. Governor Cooper was asked directly about the process during his official appearance in support of Harris. He did not deny that he has been asked to supply materials for the vetting process, but he didn't say any more than that.
Covering Wake County this morning, police say a car was flipped during a crash in Garner. Look at your screen here. It's on his roof. Police say that the crash involved 2 drivers around 6:40 last night. One of the cars did not stop at a red light. This was at Fayetteville Road and Garner Station Boulevard. Now, despite all of this, no one was injured. WRAL is working to confirm if any charges will be filed and against whom. And a second crash in Wake County overturned a car around 5:30 last night. You can see this one here. This green Ford Bronco, it didn't stop before turning onto Pulleytown Road from Mitchell Mill Road, according to investigators. And that caused them to be hit by another car and turn onto its side. Authorities say the injuries from this crash, they were not that serious.
Coming up, Jennifer Aniston is speaking out against Trump's VP pick. What she has to say about his commentary on reproductive rights.
And hear about the moment a plane heading for Tampa got dangerously low. We're talking like 150 feet above water, and how Southwest Airlines is responding.
And we have seen over 9 inches of rain at RDU Airport so far this month, and we still have more opportunities to come. I'll let you know when we finally dry out enough where you can hopefully mow your lawn coming up.
You get a live look this morning. You've got some cloudy skies there as we're looking live over Lake Gaston. Although I guess since it's the first day of the Paris Olympics, Lake Gaston. That's the only day I can make that joke today. We've got meteorologist Kat Campbell here. Try not to laugh at my very dumb joke, Kat.
Good to have you back and work with you again, Chris. You know, Lake Gaston looks great out there. I mean, it's a cloudy start to the day, but this weekend, the lake is going to be full of boats, I'm sure. Temperatures are going to be in the upper 80s. It's not going to be as humid, and it's mostly dry. So you are in the clear if you want to head out on the water at Lake Gaston this weekend. Jordan Lake, head to some of the rivers. Perfect weather for it. Today, you may run into some issues. We still have scattered storms. It's not going to be like yesterday. There won't be as many, not as great of coverage on the radar, but still some later in the day today. And then the weekend just looking great. That 20% chance of rain tomorrow morning. The front moving on along. It's ever so slowly, but it is pushing to the south. And with it, it's going to bring that band of heavier rain and the flooding risk to the southeastern part of the state, likely south of the Triangle, though we still do have a chance for some scattered storms in the Triangle and our northern counties. They could really pop up anywhere. The greatest chance is still in our southern counties. We should begin to dry out overnight, but there is about a 20% chance of rain tomorrow morning. I think that would be south of the Triangle. A lot of clouds when you wake up tomorrow morning for many of us. This is 9 a.m., maybe a little less in our northern counties, but if you wake up to cloudy skies, don't worry, the clouds will thin and it ends up being a beautiful afternoon tomorrow. At the coast, though, the front's still close enough nearby where you could see some scattered storms popping up. It's more of an isolated chance, I would say about 30%, so I wouldn't cancel your beach plans. Later in the day tomorrow and into Sunday look better. Sunday looks like a beautiful beach day. Temperatures are in the low to mid 80s. Humidity down a little bit with a nice northeast wind. If you're headed to the mountains, it's just scattered summertime storms the next few days. Nothing organized expected. These are just pop-up stuff for this time of year. Pretty typical as we look ahead to the end of the month. And at RDU, we're stuck under this thick overcast out there right now. Current temperature 76 degrees as you leave the house. It is warm, it is muggy, but check out the weekend. We're actually going to see the humidity backing off a little bit more. 65 the low Sunday morning, 68 on Monday morning. If you need to get some yard work done this weekend, Sunday should be a great day to do it. That'll give Saturday time to, dry things out for you in your yard. As we look ahead to next week, a very typical summer-like pattern as we look ahead to August.
All right, Kat, updating some breaking news we've been following there in Orange County this morning. This crash on I-85 in northbound lanes that shut down those 2 lanes. Well, we're being told that the State Highway Patrol has cleared that crash, and those 2 lanes on I-85 are cleared and reopened right now. Similarly, the crash that closed 2 lanes of 3 lanes there on I-40, I-85 split, those lanes have since reopened, but you can still see the lingering delay all the way down to Hillsborough Road or Old Chapel Hill Road. That's the lingering delay right now. If you can get over to Highway 70 east-west, that's another alternate east-west connector that will get you away from I-40 this morning. Elsewhere around the Triangle, all the major routes, I-540, the Beltline, I-87 coming in from Nightdale, all free and clear this morning.
All right, thank you, Ken. A massive wildfire in California is now burning more than 125,000 acres. And now the man accused of starting this is facing charges. This is a time-lapse video of the fire. Authorities say that a man pushed a burning vehicle into a ravine, and that is what sparked the wildfire near Sacramento. Investigators say that the fire is less than 5% contained.
FBI investigators say they're still examining evidence from the assassination attempt on former President Donald Trump. The FBI's shooting reconstruction team continues to examine bullet fragments and other evidence from the shooting. According to a U.S. official, the agency wants to interview Trump for a victim statement. However, questions still remain on whether Trump was hit by a bullet or shrapnel. Actress Jennifer Aniston is criticizing former President Trump's running mate. J.D. Vance appeared on Tucker Carlson's former Fox News show in 2021, and on it he criticized what he called childless cat ladies who are miserable at their own lives. Aniston shared a screenshot of it on social media, and the actress, who has publicly spoken about her fertility journey, wrote about Vance's far-right stance on reproductive rights, saying, "Mr. Vance, I pray that your daughter is fortunate enough to bear children of her own one day." Aniston also appeared to endorse Kamala Harris, reposting a 2018 video of Harris pushing then Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh on abortion rights.
A responding officer to the Uvalde school shooting is pleading not guilty to more than 24 criminal charges. Adrian Gonzalez entered the plea in the Texas courtroom yesterday. He was one of the first officers on scene during the shooting, and he's facing 29 counts of abandoning and endangering a child. According to the indictment against him, Gonzalez did not follow his active shooting training. Now, 19 children and 2 teachers died in this massacre. Gonzalez could face up to 2 years in prison if convicted.
The Murdaugh family is locked in a secret court battle over succession and control of their media empire. That's according to a report in the New York Times. Rupert Murdoch has led Fox News Corporation for years. The empire is worth a reported $19.5 billion. The legal battle is over what will happen to the asset after Murdoch's death. Murdoch's 4 eldest children share equal votes in the family trust. The case is expected to go to court in September.
A Southwest Airlines flight headed to Tampa got as low as 150 feet above water. Georgia MacArthur talked to a passenger on board who feared the worst.
We were just low to the water and then high and then low. Oh my God.
Passengers on board Southwest Flight 425 bound for Tampa were seconds away from catastrophe when it descended 150 feet above the Courtney Campbell Causeway on July 14th.
I was concerned that we were flying in a Tampa storm, so I opened my window. And when I opened my window, I was watching how we were approaching. We were coming around MacDill Air Force Base. I know you can't fly over MacDill Air Force Base. It was just a unique approach.
Nancy Allen was on that plane. Her cell phone video shows the plane ascending back in the sky after trying to land. It was in that moment, Allen says, she knew something was wrong.
I was feeling a little panicked. I mean, in that moment, I panicked a little bit, and I started texting my husband, "This is sketchy," and I was texting him, "Abort, abort."
Southwest Airlines issued a statement saying the airline is, quote, in contact with the FAA to understand and address any irregularities with the aircraft's final approach. Allen says she's relieved she landed safely, but still wonders about exactly what happened.
That was the worst flight I've been on in a really long time.
Yeah, the black box on that vehicle likely will give them some answers. That was Georgia MacArthur talking. Aviation experts say situations like this, they're rare. The NTSB and FAA are investigating this.
Jeff Hogan in the WRAL Live Center. I want to take you straight out to a picture that we have just into our newsroom right now. You see this van. If you take a close look at it, a van has crashed completely into a building here. This is on Pool Road. This is the breeze through 76 on Pool Road, the 3400 block of Pool Road. The breaking news tracker is there. Now, if you look on the left side, you see the tail end of a Raleigh police cruiser there. On the right side of the screen, you see a Raleigh police officer. It appears also our team has said that the bomb squad has showed up at this scene, and we were asked to move back away from that scene a little bit. There is crime scene tape around it. We're being asked to move back. We have a crew on the way there right now to get some more answers about what is going on there. But you see that van is completely into the breeze through 76 on Pool Road with bomb squad on scene.
So scary. Thanks, Jeff. A Raleigh lifeguard is in the hospital recovering from traumatic spinal and head injuries that he received on the job. He was hurt while rescuing a child who was drowning. Yusef Bonagi was working as a lifeguard at 12 Oaks Country Club on July 17th. He says that he saw a child struggling in the water and he jumped in to save him from drowning. He slipped while he jumped into the water and hit his head.
I lost a few teeth and damaged my spinal cord, and also had a head injury from there. But the kid was still drowning, so I swam 20 meters to get to him. I got him out, is what everybody's been telling me. Once I got him out is when I passed out.
Oh my goodness. A fellow lifeguard pulled Bonagi to safety. He is now on the long road to recovery, but he says he has no regrets because he saved a child. Friends who have started a GoFundMe to help Bonagi. You can visit WRAL.com to find out how you can help. Letters from the People's Princess are going up for auction. What Diana talks about in her writings, including royal wedding preparations. That's coming up.
And a late night Amber Alert went out for a boy from Durham. After the break, we'll get you the latest on the investigation to locate 9-year-old Gian.
As you get into your car, tune to WRAL News Plus on your radio. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM. In Durham, 96.5 FM. And everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
Good morning. Time now is 8:26 on your Friday. I'm Michelle McConaughey. Meteorologist Kat Campbell in the WRAL Severe Weather Center. Cloudy for now, but we're going to have a really nice weekend.
We will. I mean, it may be gray as you get out of bed this morning, but we've got improvements coming. Pretty muggy outside, 76 degrees in the Triangle, but rain chance is pretty low right now. So if you're headed out and about, the odds that you're going to run into rain very low, shouldn't slow you down much. Later this morning, a 30% chance, and then during the afternoon, we've got a 60% chance. The highest rain chances and the greatest potential for heavy rain should be in our southern counties today, and then the weekend we dry out. We'll see more sunshine by tomorrow afternoon. Highs are in the upper 80s, and it's even a little less humid.
All right, happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center. We continue to update some breaking news we've been following there in Orange County near the I-40, I-85 split. The two lanes that were shut down as a result of a crash on I-85 in the northbound lanes, those lanes have since reopened. And similarly, two lanes were blocked by a deadly crash that happened about an hour and a half ago on the I-40, I-85 split area. Those lanes have since reopened. You can see that it's gone from red to yellow this morning. And over on Fox 50, at the bottom of the hour, I'll have an update on this crash and just let you know how to get around this mess.
All right, thanks, Ken. And we're following some breaking news in Raleigh right now. We have a picture of a van that crashed into a convenience store. This is on Pool Road at a breeze through. We are also hearing reports that a bomb squad may be on the way to the scene. No injuries were reported in this. We do have a crew on the way to the scene as well. And coming up next on Fox 50, the larger-than-life way that you can watch the opening ceremony right here in the Triangle. And up next on Today, behind the scenes with Team USA's athletes as they arrive in Paris.
Shot in 4K ultra high definition. Your number one source for local news. WRAL News. Coverage you can count on.
It's been a soggy pattern for over a week now, but we're finally going to break out of this pattern soon. I'll have a more in-depth look at your weekend forecast and today's rain chances coming up.
And an Amber Alert was issued late last night for a 9-year-old boy from Durham. What we know this morning about Gian King Perriette.
And we are also following some breaking news in Raleigh on Pool Road. A van has just crashed into a store there. So we have a crew on the way. We'll get to that for you coming up. Thanks for joining us. I'm Michelle McConaughey.
And I'm Chris Levingood. We've also learned that there is a bomb squad that is on scene. So we'll try to get you more specifics on that. But first, let's go ahead and check in with meteorologist Kat Campbell on getting your day started.
And I've got good news to report on this Friday morning. The weekend looks spectacular. We do still have to get through today's storm chances. 83, about a 60% chance of storms, especially in our southern counties. And then the weekend looks phenomenal. A little bit less humid. We even dipped to 65 Sunday morning. Make your outdoor plans this weekend. You're in luck. 76 out there right now. Cloudy, so a gray start to the day. And we do have some low clouds and even some fog toward the sand hills. It's not a widespread issue for your morning commute, but just a heads up, you could run into a little bit of fog out there. There are a few sprinkles in Moore County elsewhere, things are nice and dry for us. Rain chances will be highest closer to this front today, and that's why it's our southern counties that are under the flood watch until 7 o'clock. The flood watch no longer includes the Triangle. It does, however, include Fayetteville down toward the coast. Futurecast for the remainder of the morning hours, we see some spotty light rain that would be possible late morning through lunchtime, but notice we're going to watch for this band of more widespread showers and storms in our southern counties this afternoon, and then more spotty stuff in our northern counties. Then we've got changes after the weekend. I'll break that down coming up, Ken.
Again, happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center, I-40 eastbound has been a real troubled spot this morning. No sooner that those crashes, and one was deadly this morning, have cleared. Now we got this reports of a crash shutting down at least one lane there on I-40 eastbound in Orange County. But once you get past this area that's not causing any problems, you're going to run into the lingering delays from those earlier crashes there near the I-85, I-40 split. But we'll keep monitoring that for you, let you know if it's going to continue to affect your morning commute. Also around the Triangle this morning, all the major routes are basically delay-free. I-540, I-87 coming in from Knightdale and Zebulon area. Let's take you outside, shall we? Give you a live look at our Beltline this morning. This is the north side of the Beltline. These are the westbound lanes moving away from us, courtesy of our camera at I-440 and Capitol Boulevard. The southern part of the Beltline, similarly, things are moving along nicely. This is I-40 and Lake Wheeler Road. Traffic moving nicely in both directions at this hour.
Thank you, Ken. Police in Durham are looking for this 9-year-old boy, Gian Kang Perriott. Authorities issued an Amber Alert for him just before 11 o'clock last night. You likely saw it on your phone. Nick Perlin is in the WRAL Breaking News Tracker this morning on South Benjamin Street. And Nick, authorities say Gian may be with his biological mother. And we will have to come back to that story in just a moment.
It's a story that we continue to follow there as those updates come into the WRAL newsroom. On this story, a person was killed when a car hit them late last night in Fayetteville. The crash happened at Cliffdale Road and Bunsey Road at around 9:50 p.m. Police say the person who was hit was crossing the road but was not in the crosswalk. And so WRAL is trying to confirm that person's name and learn if the driver involved will be charged.
Breaking news, Duke Energy crews are working to remove a large tree that fell in Durham this morning. The tree took down utility lines on Holloway Street near Bunn Terrace. More than 100 homes and businesses in that area are without power. Durham police say the road may be closed for several hours.
New this morning, the French Prime Minister says that the 3 railways to Paris were targeted in an attack on the high-speed train lines overnight. Several facilities have been damaged and travel has been disrupted. We're talking about 800,000 people being affected. Investigators say this massive attack was aimed at paralyzing the high-speed line network. The train lines will be disrupted throughout the weekend, too. Obviously, this happening as the Summer Olympics begins today in a couple of hours. Our live coverage continues through August 11th. You can look for live reports from Paris throughout the competition. Check for those at 6 a.m., 6 p.m., and 11 p.m. over on WRAL. And we have a viewing guide on WRAL.com so you can follow along with your favorite sports and athletes.
New information in a disturbing story that we've been following for some time. A month ago, Avante Devon of Fayetteville was charged with torturing and killing 2 of her adopted children and hiding their bodies. Only on WRAL, a woman reached out to our investigative unit to say that Devon tortured her, too, decades before the murders that she's accused of committing. Tiffany Kreft says she went to live with Devon and a family member back in 2000 in Las Vegas. Not long after arriving, she said Devon starved her, kept her in a very small space, and forced her to live in deplorable conditions. Kreft says investigators approached her about Devon months ago.
Didn't have my own bed to sleep in, had to sleep on the floor.
Hear what else she claims tonight on WRAL News at 6.
Today, former President Trump will meet with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu at his Mar-a-Lago estate in Florida. Netanyahu is expected to arrive in Florida this morning around 11 o'clock, and authorities say they are prepared. The local sheriff's office plans to shut down the road from the airport to the estate, and the sheriff warns protesters they should keep their distance and not attempt to block any roads. This will be the first time Netanyahu and Trump have met since Trump's presidency.
And this meeting comes less than 24 hours after Netanyahu met with both President Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris in Washington. During her first one-on-one meeting with the Israeli Prime Minister, Harris pushed him to accept a ceasefire deal. She also vowed to, quote, not be silent about the suffering in Gaza.
Michelle, I want to go ahead and interrupt here because we have that breaking news update. Police are on the scene in Raleigh of a potential bomb threat. This happened after a van went through a convenience store on Pole Road, and that's where we find WRAL's Kelsey Coffey. She is live there right now. Kelsey, I see the activity behind you. What have you learned since you arrived?
Chris, we see that the Raleigh Police Bomb Squad is on scene now, so I'll step out the way so you can see that this white van crashed into this gas station. Now, this gas station is at the corner of Poole and Samuel. This is about 6 minutes away from WakeMed Hospital here in Raleigh. So now we're working to find out how many people were inside that van and whether anyone was hurt. We're also working to find out if anyone was hurt inside the gas station when that van went through the front entrance. But you can see that it's a really active scene. I've counted at least 7 Raleigh police cars here, and we also see there's a bomb disposal robot there right in front of the front entrance. So we're working to find out as much information as we can, and we'll be sure to keep you updated as we find out more. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
And Kelsey, if you can still hear me real quick, I know that we had to move across the street at some point, if I'm not mistaken. Have you seen any other people there, maybe an employee with the store? What else have you seen unfold in that area?
Right. So, Chris, we're having a little bit of trouble hearing you with the traffic, but I think that you asked me about other people that we see. So I see a couple of people here that are right below the gas station sign here. We've also seen a few members of Raleigh Bomb Squad. So right now I'm only counting 1, 2, 3, 4 people from the bomb squad there, but we'll be sure to keep you guys updated.
Kelsey, stay on that story. A Raleigh police officer is on administrative leave, and he is accused of making this social media post, calling Juneteenth a made-up holiday. The police department is investigating after this post spread online. RPD senior officer D.C. Twitty is accused of making the post. His name is familiar to activist Kerwin Pittman. He says Twitty was involved in a wrongful no-knock raid against 2 families in 2020. Pittman helped those families sue RPD. He's also the officer who shot and killed Akil Denkins in 2016. That was later ruled to be in self-defense, and no criminal charges were filed. Still, though, Pittman says RPD needs to take notice.
I feel like the department doesn't listen. And this is somebody we've kind of been ringing the bell on for years.
In a statement, RPD Chief Estella Patterson said that Juneteenth is a federal and city of Raleigh holiday. The Raleigh Police Department celebrates the Juneteenth holiday and what it stands for. A teenager in Michigan rescued a woman from a sinking car. You got to hear from him as he explains how this all happened.
And a state ruling in Ohio will remind you to slow down while eating, why their courts say it's okay for boneless wings to contain bones.
Good morning, Roxborough. What is this? I don't see anyone outside walking. Okay, there's one car. Good. Yeah, get out there and enjoy this summer morning as we're waking up here today. We've got meteorologist Kat Campbell watching very closely, and we have am I saying that right? Lows in the 60s, Kat?
Yes, you are, Chris. I am waking up early Sunday morning, literally, just to get outside and enjoy it. We've got 65 for the low. That comes with drier air, slightly less humid this weekend. It's not going to feel like fall outside, but it's going to feel better. Upper 60s tomorrow morning, 65 Sunday morning and Monday morning, 68 degrees. In Fayetteville, still mostly cloudy out there today, but you're not dealing with the rain like we had yesterday. Some patchy fog in our southern counties. It's not terribly dense, but there are some patches of fog out there. So that's what you need to be aware of during the morning commute. Otherwise, it's just a great start with temperatures in the mid 70s. Boy, it's been a wet month. July, rainfall over 9 inches at RDU. We have some localized totals in that 12 to 15 inch zone for the month of July, and we're not done yet. Today we could add to that. We still have today's rain chances before we get a break over the weekend. A few sprinkles moving through the sandhills. That's about it at this point. Very low impacts. I wouldn't expect that to slow down your morning commute, but the front is slowly pushing to the south and east. It's still close enough to our southern counties where we could see some localized flooding, but behind that front, it continues to push to the south. By Sunday, it is well offshore. We've got low pressure right here and that counterclockwise flow wrapping around it. It's going to pull in all that drier air from Canada, and that's why we get down in the 60s again. And that's why it's just going to feel so much better in the mornings. 87 degrees here high tomorrow, 88 Sunday. I want to mention we have a 20% chance for rain tomorrow morning. That would be in our southern counties. And I do still think that you're probably going to wake up to a lot of clouds tomorrow morning. But when you wake up and it's a gray start to your Saturday, don't worry, the day's going to get a lot better from there. By lunchtime, we've got plenty of sunshine, 81, upper 80s. And then if you're grilling out tomorrow, temperatures should be in the low 80s for dinner time out there. Your 7-day forecast, mostly 80s still. We do have some 90s, though, as we get into the end of next week, likely. 83 the high today, thanks to all of our morning clouds. It's hotter over the weekend, but not terribly humid, especially for late July. And then as we get into next week, a more typical summertime pattern. Some scattered thunderstorms will be possible. We even get up to 93 degrees as we get to next Thursday.
Superheroes, monster trucks, and a blast from the past are all on the list for this weekend. WRAL lifestyle editor Kathy Hanrahan has your guide to the fun and out and about's best bets. Kathy, let's start off with those superheroes. Why are they here?
Okay, do not be alarmed if you see Spider-Man and Captain America wandering around. The annual GalaxyCon fan convention is underway right now at the Raleigh Convention Center. It's a pop culture event. It's going to run through Sunday. There's going to be celebrities, vendors, voice actors. Single-day tickets are still available. They start at $40. Now, families planning to attend might want to go today. Admission for children ages 5 to 9 years old is free today. Children ages 4 and under are admitted free with a paid adult all weekend.
Very fun, and that's not the only family-friendly event happening this weekend. Tell us about where families can see those monster trucks.
Monster Jam. If you've never been, it is wild. Okay, so lots of high energy there. Monster Jam is returning to PNC Arena this weekend. Giant trucks, they're racing, doing stunts on a big dirt track. 3 shows to choose from, and tickets start at about $15.
Have been. It's an awesome time. It really is so much fun. And this next one is truly a blast from the past. Where can we see some 90s icons on stage?
I love the 90s. You remember the 90s?
Yes.
New Kids on the Block, Paula Abdul and DJ Jazzy Jeff are performing Sunday at the Coastal Credit Union Music Park at Walnut Creek. Some tickets are still available.
Oh my goodness. I love that so much. So much fun for everybody. All right, Kathy, thank you. And for more information about these events, go to WRAL.com and search keyword out and about.
And today you'll have a chance to watch the Olympics opening ceremony on the largest screen in Raleigh, the Marbles IMAX Theater. This theater is opening its doors at noon, and then the show starts at 1:30. For more info on how you can buy tickets, go to our website, WRAL.com. In addition to the IMAX at Marbles Museum, you can also watch the Olympic opening ceremony in IMAX at the AMC Theaters at Durham Streets, at South Point, and on Lake Valley Drive in Fayetteville.
Today, people living with disabilities in search of a job or internship can attend a career fair just for them. It's hosted by the Department of Health and Human Services Division of Employment and Independence for people with disabilities. It'll be at the Hilton Hotel in North Hills in the Dogwood Event Room. Participants will be able to talk with recruiters to learn more about job opportunities that align with their skills and interests. The career fair runs from 10 a.m. until noon.
Parents are expressing their frustration with the rising cost of supplies for school. A new Wallet Hub survey found 79% of parents feel like schools ask them to buy too much when it comes to supplies. However, nearly 77% say they're willing to go into debt for their child's educational needs. Back-to-school spending is expected to reach more than $38 billion this year. That's the second highest on record, Michelle.
A Michigan teenager is being called a hero after helping a woman escape when her car went into a lake. John Agnello was fishing with his mom when he saw the car go into the lake, and without hesitation, John says he and a man jumped into the water to help the woman that was inside this car. After John and the man pulled the woman to safety, he wanted to make sure that there was no one else inside that car, so he jumped back into the water. Thankfully, the car was empty. Meanwhile, his mother, Beth Agnello, was on shore calling 911 for help.
The car was at like 65% water, so then we had to get it out the window because the door wasn't opening.
John says that he doesn't know if he would pursue a career as a first responder someday, but he knows that he loves helping others. He's good at it. Police are still investigating how the car ended up in the water. The woman who was driving was taken to the hospital.
Princess Diana's handwritten letters to her family's former housekeeper are going up for auction. The letters provide insight into the princess's private life. This includes wedding preparations and details of Prince Harry and Prince William's childhood. According to the auction house, Princess Diana's head housekeeper witnessed her birth along with her 3 siblings. Diana and the housekeeper remained close after she left the Spencer family, and these letters start at $1,000.
The Ohio Supreme Court says it's okay for boneless wings to have some bones in them. The court released its opinion after ruling against a man who sued a restaurant in 2017. According to the original filing, the man ate a boneless wing that had a bone. It got stuck in his throat, then became infected, leading to other medical issues. A judge dismissed the lawsuit, saying the man should have known that any meat product could have a bone in it. A man filed an appeal with the state Supreme Court in 2023, but they sided with the lower court.
Some people legitimately argue that boneless wings should just be called tenders. A battle over the origin of Flamin' Hot Cheetos is now the subject of a legal fight. Richard Montanez says that he invented the flavor more than 30 years ago while he was a factory janitor. However, Frito-Lay, the company that makes Cheetos, denies that claim. Montanez filed a defamation lawsuit yesterday. He accused the company executives of lying about the creation. Officials at PepsiCo and Frito-Lay have not commented on the lawsuit, but Montanez published a memoir in 2021, and his life story was made into a movie. You may have saw that, Flamin' Hot, back in 2023.
Video game voice actors and performers are set to go on strike today. Yesterday, SAG-AFTRA announced a strike over the interactive media agreement that covers video game performers. The union said the strike is over failed labor contracts, AI concerns, and pay. The strike comes after months of negotiations with major video game companies. A spokesperson for the Video Game Products Producers Party said their offer featured AI protections.
Warner Bros. Discovery and Disney are rolling out a new streaming bundle to attract customers. The deal offers Disney Plus, Hulu, and Max at a lower price. These 3 services can be purchased together for $16.99 per month with ads. But if you want an ad-free experience, you got to pay $29.99 a month.
Jordan Peele is bringing back a hidden camera horror comedy, and the Kardashians bring the cameras back into their homes. Ashley Dvorkin has those stories and more in the Hollywood Nation.
Peele reboots, Peaky Blinders recruits, and the Kardashians get a renewal in the Hollywood Nation.
Nothing can stop me. I'm all the way up.
Hulu will keep the cameras rolling on reality TV's Famous Family. The streamer renewed the Kardashians for 20 more episodes. The announcement was made the same day as the hit show's season 5 finale Thursday.
This will be the end of it.
Netflix's upcoming Peaky Blinders movie has expanded its cast. According to Deadline, Dune star Rebecca Ferguson will star alongside Cillian Murphy. The film adaptation of the hit series will see Murphy reprising his role as gangster Tommy Shelby, leader of the Birmingham Street Gang. No word on what role Ferguson will play.
Oh my goodness.
Jordan Peele will deliver pranks and scares for his next project. Peele and his Monkey Paw Productions are teaming up with Universal to reboot the comedy horror hidden camera show Scare Tactics for USA Network. This series, which aired on Sci-Fi from 2003 to 2013, follows unsuspecting individuals being put through twisted scenarios set up by their friends and family. The new show is set to air later this fall. In Hollywood, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
Peele stays employed. The stars are out to shine in Paris for today's Olympics opening ceremony. Perhaps no one is making his presence known more in Paris than Snoop Dogg. He will be carrying the Olympic torch today during the final leg of the journey. And last night, he was on the red carpet with today's Hoda Kotb, hyping up all the coverage from NBC.
Well, unboxing videos are trendy on social media, and the Olympic athletes are getting into the fun. Look at this video. Athletes from many countries are going viral for videos showing off their swag they got when they arrived for the games. It's a fun way to show people, hey, look what I got. And people like, I don't know, they like watching opening boxes and tissue paper.
It's free to show. Why not say, look at the free thing I got?
For them, exactly.
Like, I'll show that off. Why not?
Yeah. Very fun. All right, before we go to break, here are your winning lottery numbers. We'll get another check on weather and traffic coming up next.